Hey there! Here are 10 items and some of their lesser known uses. That's right, we're starting out with this bony boy. It's not just a weapon when attack peers use. You can buy this beauty for 2,000 gold, and after completing the Death to the Dorgashan quest, it gains access to a pretty neat special attack. It uses 75% special attack energy, and is similar to the Banda's God Sword, and that defense is reduced by how much damage you do. But the Bone Dagger has the special effect of not missing. Kinda. The effect only works if the defense has not been previously lowered, and you can't be the last one to have previously damaged it. This means you either need to start a fight with it, or somebody else in the team needs to hit the boss before you use a special attack. For some reason, the first attack doesn't work on Kefri or on Duke. So where would you actually use this? High level invocation TOA is the first thing that comes to mind. Bosses in here have a reduction cap of 20 anyways, so Bone Dagger not having a big max hit isn't going to be the biggest deal. In Kefri, just make sure to have somebody else attack her before you use your special attack. It's also useful in Next to lower this tanky bird's defense. Besides having a few advantages over the Bando's God Swords, it's kind of like a mini Bando's God Sword, so it's good for players at places like Chambers or Calfight Queen before they can actually afford or obtain the BGS. Speaking of lowered stats, so you smashed up some flowers and herbs in a vial, and now you have this. The Menophyte Remedy restores your stats over time for 5 minutes. This is decent for things like mitigating the cough and brew use at Nex, but honestly nothing to write home about. Additionally, this cancels any Divine Potion's effect and turns it just into a normal potion. Normally, this would be a bad thing, but if we use a Menophyte Remedy to cancel the Divine effect at the end of its duration, we essentially get a very cheap dose of Super Combat, or Bastion, or Imbued Heart Boost, or whatever we're using. This can be very nice when pre-potting for content. We can pre-pot Super Combat, Ranging Potion, Saturated Heart, and then all we need to bring into the raid is 1 dose of Menophyte. Now we can carry on the boosts of our pre-pot after they run out with the use of 1 dose of Potion, and probably throw on Preserve as well. Speaking of preserving potions, prayer potions are annoying to get on an Iron Man and pretty expensive to buy on a normal account. So let's make our prayer go much further. The Ancient Mace has a special attack that restores prayer based off damage dealt. If you don't have a Saradomin God Sword, this can be used during a Slayer task for prayer restoration. But even if you do have a Slayer task, the Ancient Mace's special attack allows your prayer to go above the max level. This means whenever I teleport to my house, I can quickly use the pool, special attack my dummy, and then use the pool again. Now I can start any Slayer task I want with 137 prayer points. If you have better strength gear than me, you can start even higher. This isn't just useful for Slayer though. Being able to start things like the Inferno with much more prayer kind of feels like cheating. To get the most out of this strategy, you'll want a dummy in your house, but even if you haven't built that yet, you can still benefit by hitting pretty much anything in the game with your Ancient Mace. This one technically counts as multiple items, but silver jewelry doesn't really get enough credit for how useful it is. This is probably because opal, jade, and topaz are not as available as the rest of the gems are. However, if you have a charged Amulet of Glory, these rocks can be mined very quickly, and each gem is very beneficial. You should be able to get a full inventory's worth in a matter of minutes, honestly. Let's talk about the jade jewelry first. The ring isn't really useful, so we're going to skip over that. But the jade bracelet turns into the flame tar bracelet, which makes Shade of Morton go so much quicker. if you plan on doing shades, either for elite clue scrolls or collection log slots, make sure to stock up on these bracelets. They're very easy to make and will make this activity go a lot quicker. The necklace is useful enough to make a few of them, strictly because of the outpost teleport. The other two teleports the necklace offers already have a few close options, but there are a few clue steps to go to the outpost. The amulet, this is where Jade is very good, because you can make the amulet of chemistry. While creating potions, you have a chance to make a 4-dose potion instead of the 3-dose potion. This isn't worth it for every single potion, but if we take a look at this lovely chart from the wiki, we can see that it's usually worth it. And it's especially worth it for things like prayer potions, super potions, Ceridome brews, and super restores. Looking at Opal next, the ring and the amulet aren't too good. Jagex did mention though that some of these silver jewelry are getting looked at in their rebalancing blog they just posted. The Opal bracelet though turns into the Expeditious bracelet. This makes it so Slayer kills have a chance to count as 2, which will significantly speed up tasks that you don't necessarily like, but it's not worth skipping. It also makes the Turiel skipping go much faster. You do have to have the bracelet equipped, so you'll have to either equip it at the end of a kill or just leave it equipped the whole time like I do. The necklace turns into a dodgy necklace, which gives you a 25% chance to not be stunned after you get caught reaching into somebody's pants. This stacks with the spell Shadow Veil, and it's going to make pickpocketing much quicker. Here's a little comparison: 10 minutes of pickpocketing Vires with nothing, 10 minutes of pickpocketing Vires with Shadow Veil, and 10 minutes of pickpocketing with Shadow Veil and the necklace, just so you can kind of compare and see that it is in fact worth it. Last, but certainly not least, we've got the Topaz. The ring, like the other rings, is pretty bad, so we're going to kind of gloss over it. The amulet has very nice teleports for Wilderness Clue Scrolls, the Wilderness Bosses, and the Prayer Altar. The Necklace of Faith isn't too great. You could possibly use it somewhere to alternate between the necklace and redemption, but there's pretty much always going to be better options. The bracelet is very, very good. It's the opposite of the Opal bracelet, and it will extend your tasks. So after skipping a million tasks and finally getting something like Smoke Devils, you can extend it. Yes, I am talking about that weird fruit from a random event that doesn't heal you at all. A common way to train low-level thieving is the stalls in Hosidius. There's a 1 in 20 rate to get one of these fruit from stealing. These fruits have a couple of uses. The first being that they restore 30% run energy, so these are very useful for early game Iron Man to get around the game before staminas or many teleports are unlocked. The other use is that they cure poison and venom. This is the earliest venom cure an Iron Man can get, and can prove useful at Zulrah. Instead of spamming Cure Me, this allows you to eat strange fruit to get rid of venom. You can use 2 anti-poisons to get rid of venom, but the less clicking to worry about as a learner, the better. While yes, this is a prayer, it does come from a very cheap item, the Torn Prayer Scroll, so I'm counting it on this list. This prayer makes all boosted stats retain their boost for 50% longer. I'm usually wary of throwing on additional prayers, but with only a 20 prayer bonus, this will only drain 3 prayer points per minute. At 99 prayer, you could leave this on for over half an hour without having to recharge your prayer. This is very nice for saving potions in Slayer, or making your limited inventory go further in places like the Fight Caves or the Inferno. But it also has uses outside of PvM. Being able to retain your Dragon special attack boost for longer is very nice for skilling, especially when paired with a Light Bearer when you can spec more often.
Wait a minute, the Slayer ring isn't very niche. Everybody knows that it has very nice teleports for both Slayer and Clue Scrolls.
Yes, we all know the Slayer ring provides crazy value for how insanely cheap and easy to obtain it is. But did you know this ring is the easiest obtainable item that can teleport you out of the wilderness up to level 30? For an Iron Man, to have access to teleports, you either need Dragonstone Jewelry, a Pharaoh Scepter, Monkey Madness 2 for the Sea Pods, or you can risk being low health with the Ring of Life. Or, you can use this very easily obtained Slayer Ring. That being said, the Slayer Ring is not a one-click teleport. The teleports are hidden behind a menu, so if you do have access to a one-click teleport, use that instead. When Muspa was released, the reaction to the Venator bow was a whole bunch of meh. It has a slower attack speed than the magic short bow, and the bounce range leaves a lot to be desired, especially on larger monsters because it takes the southwest tile into consideration. But, like many items, this item turned out to be much nicer than originally thought. It made many Slayer tasks not just low effort, but arguably AFK. I'm looking at Abyssal Demons, Blood Belts, and Jellies. Even Necks if you're too lazy to be efficient and barrage them. It has also become best in slot at multiple bosses. Looking at you, Whisperer and Grotesque Guardians. Prayer, oh prayer, what a dreadful skill to train. The slow process of getting bones only to have a 12-year-old tell you to sit at the Chaos Altar. Many of us know about the Bone Crusher. If you didn't, it's an item you get from the Moritania Diaries and automatically buries bones for you. It's a bit annoying to charge, and generally we want to save our good bones for the Wilderness Altar. Ashes though? It would be so nice to get the prayer experience right away without the tedious task of picking them up and scattering them. Surprise! The Ash Sanctifier can do just that for us. This is obtained from the Hard Karen Diary and is upgraded upon the completion of the Elite Diary. So, what about an easier to obtain passive prayer training method? The Ectoplasmator doesn't need to be charged, and it's obtained from Soul Wars. Whenever you kill a spectral monster, you get HP equal to 20% of their HP. So, what type of monsters does this include? Things like Scepters, the Barrows Brothers, Ankus, Shades, Muspa, Rev, Spiritual Creatures. There's a ton, really. It turns a lot of activities that previously didn't give prayer experience into ones that do. What's that? You want more prayer experience that's easy to obtain? Well, how about that Soul Bearer thing? You get this item after a very easy mini-quest, and Slayer already fills my inventory so much, I never have room to pick up the Ensouled Heads. Even though I know things like the Abyssal Demon Head are worth 1,300 prayer experience, the Soul Bearer will send them to the bank at a very, very cheap price. Okay, first of all, if you didn't know, you can water your plants. Yes, I'm with you. Compost and sunlight is all I give my plants. But I guess watering them gives them a lower chance at becoming diseased, or something. But we can use our watering can on something besides plants. Thralls are very nice to have in chambers, except for the fact that the Arceus book doesn't have a water spell to free you from the flame wall. But if you brought a watering can with you, you can abuse your thralls and free yourself from the wall. Or just flame skip, but you know. Thank you guys so much for watching the video. If there are any items that you think belong on this list, please let me know. If you enjoyed the video, a like and subscribe would be greatly appreciated. Hope you all have a great day. Thanks.